Live. It says we are live now, 5, 6 seconds in. We're waiting on some people to join. I would imagine we will get some. And I also have the chat option open. So anybody that's watching that has any questions for Bill or myself, go ahead and throw them in the chat. We should be able to see the majority of them. But first of all, I want to introduce Bill O'Neill. He's a 2024 PBA Players Champion. You also were the champion in 2020, if I'm not mistaken, and 2016 U.S. Open.
2010.
2010. Okay, I can't read my own writing. So three majors, and 14 titles now total.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, pretty good. Did you ever think back in the day when you started to bowl, and you started to get into this a little bit, that you could be, sitting here with 14 titles, three major titles, and just kind of living your own life, bowling and being very successful at it?
Absolutely not. No way. No. I mean, I knew I had a certain level of ability, and I was confident in myself, and just bowling throughout the years with, in high school and junior bowling and into college. And then right out of college, I bowled, a lot of the big amateur tournaments that were still going, in the early 2000s. And, I was doing well, but, I don't know, who knows, I never, and there was never was that kind of person that just was like, I'm the greatest ever, and I'm just going to go out and kill everybody. It's just, it's not me. So
there are plenty of those guys out there.
Yeah. And most of the time they're the ones that aren't the best at things. So
That's right. Right.
So I just was just trying to take it step by step. And the first giant hurdle at that point was, at that time you had to qualify to be on the tour. You had to go through the tour trials or win a tournament and become exempt. And, it was really like a completely life-changing experience for me to be able, I needed a strike in the 10th to make it out of tour trials, and I got it. And geez, I think back to that and like, man, I have no idea what my career would look like if I wasn't able to get that strike.
So before we really get into the nuts and bolts, let's go back to that strike. Was that 15 or 16 pound bowling ball? Did it weigh about 40 pounds when you threw that strike?
Well, it was such a wild day because at the start of the day, you had to come in the top 10, I believe, at that event. And I had a decent cushion on 11th, but we were bowling on Cheetah, and the scores were kind of high, and I was bowling like 220, and then like the last few games I remember being like 190s, 2-0s, and everybody started bowling 230s and 240s and getting close. And the last game, I don't know what I did. I just moved in a little bit, and I think I struck in the 10th, and then nothing 9-pin in the 11th and made it, and I to bowl like 240 something, and somehow hung on. And it was whirlwind, because you're trying to do math all over the place because there's different people that could be catching you, and because it was just a straight total pin event, and it was pretty wild. I was like, I think I was shaking when I got done, because I'm like, oh my god, now I'm exempt on tour, and this is
let the ride
totally
begin.
Totally life-changing moment.
Yeah. So we'll get into some of the patterns. I know you mentioned Cheetah a minute ago, but I want to just we're doing this for BOWLIFI. This is being sent to several different Facebook groups, BOWLIFI staff group, and the BOWLIFI Facebook page, website, whatever. Also on YouTube. So there's a lot of guys that are BOWLIFI guys, and they're watching this, and they want a little background. They want to know a little bit about Bill O'Neill. What makes Bill O'Neill tick a little bit. And I know you had a great college career, but kind of give us a little bit about Bill, and what makes you go.
Oh man, so in the beginning of my career, just I'm a different person than I was back then. Now I'm married and have kids, and I'm a lot more of a family person. And when I come home on the road, I'd rather just hang out with the family. And I like to get out and play golf every once in a while. I don't play as much as I would like to, or not as much as say someone like Tommy Jones would, who plays quite often.
Yeah.
But I enjoy that. And I enjoy playing sports with my kids, and spending time with my daughter when she lets me. And that's what I do now. for enjoyment. I get off the road and just you know take it easy and hang out with them.
Well, that's a good way to be. Things change when you get a little bit older, and now you've got the
Sure.
family. Your priorities change a little bit, uh, and being able to turn that switch on and off when you're on tour and then back at home probably is difficult. I would imagine from time to
Yeah,
time.
sometimes it is, but for me, I've been doing it for so long now that I kind of know where I need to get to mentally and physically with my game and how to prepare to and just kind of go through the motions at this point. The actual act of traveling is the worst part of it.
Yeah,
Is actually getting from point A to B. Like once I'm out there and you're just bowling, I'm just doing the thing that I've done my whole life. So that part of it ends up being the easiest part because it's actually something that I'm in total control of, not getting on an airplane and hoping that it actually goes where I need it to go at the time I need it to go.
and dealing with storms and everything else, I would
Yeah.
imagine.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah. I didn't have one on time flight on the way out to Wichita and back. So it was multiple days of cancellations and
ugh.
rerouting and such. So it's just
Yeah, well, the
yeah, we
weather wasn't very kind to the start of the PBA season for everybody. That's for
no,
sure.
the private jet companies haven't sponsored us yet. So maybe one day we'll get there and we can just fly nonstop everywhere. Whenever.
That's anybody listen out there. Bill
Oh
and me have
yeah, listen,
thrown it out there.
if there's a NetJet rep in here, like, well, you know,
Let's make it work.
I'll send a couple tweets out. Don't worry about
There you go. Yeah, I follow those. Sometimes they're pretty
it.
comical. That's what that's for, though.
Yeah.
There's a couple questions in the group here, and I will kind of bounce back and forth. Somebody asked why the change over to the Bolify. That you've worn several different types of jerseys and brands and whatnot. Bolify is making amazing strides in their jerseys and what they've got. So uh, I don't know. Did you have a reason that brought you over, or we're glad you're here? Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Simonelli called me, a year and a half ago and talked to me about it. And honestly, it's important to be wanted. I value a company and a person like Ryan reaching out to me instead of me having to be the one reaching out and like, almost begging to be on a staff or something. And for them to come out and say, we'd like to sign you. That's a lot of times that's good for me, and when I signed with Hammer back in 2009, it was a very similar thing. I got on the phone with Jeff Ussery, pretty quickly after that season and got a contract worked out fairly quickly. And I've been with them for almost 15 years now. And, hopefully I can do the same with BOWLIFI.
Very nice. And like I said, we're glad to have you. And I'm also an Ebonite guy, so seeing that hammer on your chest is
Yeah,
nice to see. We're all one big family, and Bolify is the same way. I mean, the time I've spent with Bolify, it's been pretty incredible run, and I can see this going a long way for a lot of folks. And
yeah.
my
Steve
family,
Fairchild's been great.
yeah,
He's
he's
been a great
amazing.
help to me in the beginning, and just took a bunch of help with every little thing that you could ask for, in regards to shirts and for someone that is top of the company to be helping me out with little design things is cool. It's
Oh,
important.
he's hands on. There's no question about
Yeah,
that. The guy's a busy guy, so. But he's definitely hands on and definitely willing to help anytime it's needed. So it's definitely nice to have the support all the way to the top
for
in
sure.
any situation. So uh, I don't know. Let's ask a couple of my questions here. Do you have any bowling idols? Do you have anybody that you look up to or that you've looked up to throughout your career moving forward?
When I was younger, like I remember the first person that I truly like loved watching on TV was Amleto Monticelli. That was my guy when I was younger, just to watch him throw the ball. And like, man, that's if I could throw like anybody, it would have been him. That
You say you guys don't throw it alike.
yeah, no, not at all. But just the way that just everything about him. He was the coolest guy on TV. Like that is the guy that I just wanted to be. And I loved watching Pete and Norm. And then as I got onto the tour, like Norm Duke became the guy that I love to watch and be around, and just the way that he approached everything about the game, and how he attacked the lanes was something I always admired. And on the other side of the lane, Patrick Allen was the guy that I loved to watch, and just the way that he always grinded everywhere, and how he went about the game. And then you get older and you kind of become friends with a lot of these people, and uh, it becomes different. You see them
Sure.
as different
Yeah.
people. You don't see them as but then you have you can still have that same reverence for them. I watch like EJ and Anthony now, and those guys amaze me. And most of the time people only see what they do on TV. Like for years, Norman Walter, you only knew them as the guys that played straight, but then
Yeah.
you're out there and you're like, this is a lot different than people
Yeah.
know. And it's the same thing with guys like EJ and Anthony, and you watch them to go through their watching EJ throughout the week is he's really rolling it, playing to the right, and then the next thing you know, he's way left hooking it, and he's just going through a whole progression of things and changing a bunch of different things. And that's what really impresses me about a lot of those guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have it all. So they can pretty much do anything they want to do with a ball, and playing
Yeah.
straight, hooking the lane, whatever it is, and uh, being able to change hand positions and things like that, which is kind of a lost art with the younger game anymore. But I mean, those
Yeah, I
guys.
don't know. People say that, and I don't know if I buy it actually.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of these kids, and I especially the younger generation, like they bowl on stuff that's a lot harder than anything that I bowled on when I was
There's
younger.
no question about that.
And they go out there and they don't really know what bowling on easy stuff is like. They don't. I remember there was a few years ago that I was running a youth scholarship event at the center I bowl at, and that when they put harder patterns down there, they can become really difficult because the track really hooks, and we had a short pattern out, and they were impossible, and the scores were really low. And I was walking around kind of like apologizing to some parents that I knew, and I'm like, we didn't attend for, we didn't, this is not what we were hoping for, that it would be this low. And they're like, well, we don't even know what you're talking about. This is what they
Oh, when they
told
travel
us it.
around
And
and
I was like,
bowl,
oh, okay.
and they bowl their junior gold patterns and whatnot, they're bowling on the toughest of the tough. So,
Yeah.
uh, that's they're used
And
to it.
they're also just they're much more knowledgeable at the same time period in their life as we were, just because access to information is a lot greater than when I was younger. I didn't really know about, we didn't know about how to put Aberlon pads on the bowling balls, and how to make what the difference was, and how to take them up and shine them properly. We didn't know any of that stuff, and these kids
Changing
know. they,
surfaces, which
they
yeah,
know everything about changing surface. So when I came out on tour at 25, I didn't know anything. I knew nothing. And now a lot of these kids come out here and they got a bunch of knowledge before they even hit real growing pains on the tour. They're kind
yeah.
of like a
Well,
couple steps ahead.
yeah. When you got out there, you knew how to bowl, and that's what was there. Now they know how to bowl.
Yeah,
Now
I
they
know
know
how to
how to
throw it
bowl.
hard.
Yeah.
I know how to throw it hard and hit my target, and that was it. But that worked great on the one time a year where throwing it hard and hitting your target was the thing to do. But when
You
I had to
walk into it
change
every now and
speeds,
then.
and yeah, I had to change some speeds, and tilt it a little bit different. I didn't really know what to do.
So there's one question in the crowd, real quick. Wants to know when we're going to see a Bill O'Neill ball designed by Hammer. I mean,
No, I don't know. I don't
the
know.
Hammer real deal.
That's above my pay grade.
The
That
Hammer
question is
real
above
deal
my
is
pay grade. Yeah.
it's definitely the ball. I'm sure you've heard that before. So you've got. I mean, you're a PBA player. You're enjoying what you do, of course. You love what you do. But the question I've got is, if you were not a PBA player, what's your dream job? What would you be doing?
Oh man, this is a question that get asked a fair bit, and I never have a good answer for it, because I've been doing this for so long that I don't even know what I would do. I really don't. I mean, I have a college degree in business management, but it was so long ago, and I probably have to go back to school to really
Figure
have
out what
something
you
that
want to
was.
be when you grow up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, um, geez, I wouldn't even know at this point. I'd like to. I actually really would like to own a bowling center, I think, but in a perfect world, and I would love to own something that's similar to how like Bayside Bowl works in Portland, and have one of those smaller, quainter centers, and but at this point, that's not in the cards. And even when I do retire, I don't know if that's something I would do. Is just
I don't know.
being away from home
Bayside
for
Bowl's Bayside Bowl's a
yeah,
pretty cool place. I mean that's what
great,
this
yeah,
whole picture is behind me. I was there several years ago and watched the PBA league up there, and those are all
yeah.
pictures from being there.
Oh, that's cool.
Place is something special, I can tell you.
Yeah.
I think you were in. I think you're on a picture down here with the team holding a cup that year,
Oh,
if I
nice.
remember right. Uh, but yeah, that was an unbelievable trip up there, and I'm certainly gonna. It's still on my bucket list, even though I've been there. I have to go back.
Yeah, it's a great city too. Actually, it's a really cool
Yeah, lots of
downtown
things
area.
to do.
Neat.
Yep, lots of
Yeah,
things to do, walking distance and whatnot.
yeah.
Uh, so aside from winning the Players this year and some of your other majors, do you have any other giant memorable moments that stick out in your mind in your bowling career?
Oh man, I've been so fortunate to have so many awesome memories over the years, and bowling for Team USA, getting to bowl with my best friends, winning a gold medal in Germany in the World Championship was great. I think it was 2010, and I was bowling with Tommy Jones and Chris Barnes and Wes and Patrick Allen and Rhino, and that was what a cool experience that was. And being able to just travel all over the world bowling, getting to see places that I would have never dreamed to ever have been, and just to get to do that, and call it my job was really really cool. And um, yeah, just being able to throw strikes to win events or to win medals and things is like that's what I continue to chase at this point. That's the feeling and the memory that's always there. It's like if you get like complacent with the game, it's like, no, I gotta.
Yeah, you
Once I lose the ability to care about that feeling, then that's when I'll quit.
Yeah, it's a little adrenaline rush that you have while it's happening and everything else. You always want to make sure that feeling's still in your gut.
Absolutely.
Whatever it's a feeling of butterflies or whatever the case is. We've got a great question in the crowd here, um, and unfortunately I can't quite see all the names. I can see if they log into Restream, I'd be able to see their names. But somebody posted out there. The question is, will Bill ever be as good as Crankin and Ken Abner?
No,
No.
no, no. Ken's ceiling is higher than most people that I know. So when Ken gets it going and his ball starts going and striking, there's no keeping up with Ken.
He's that whole group is they're close friends of mine, and Ken is he's just an amazing individual, and I'm lucky to
Yeah,
have him right here in our city, and they bowl a lot of my events that I run. And it's funny when we look at patterns and we look at this and look at that, and we run a weekly series of tournaments and they vote on patterns. And Ken's not on social media, but his wife will vote for him because he'll be the first one to tell you I can look at those pictures and have no idea what they mean when he's looking at patterns. He said I'm a feel person. I get out in the lanes, whatever you put out there, and once I feel it, that's what it is. And it's
and that's why Ken is good, because
that's right.
that's exactly, in my opinion. Everybody goes about things differently, but in my
Sure.
opinion, that's how you should approach the game.
I agree. And he's just a matter of fact kind of guy, and he can have fun with if he's bowling on a pair with a 150 average bowler, if he's bowling with a guy that's averaging 250, they're all the same to him. And he just
Yeah,
goes out and has his time and has a good time. And
yeah. I'm looking forward to getting him back at the national team. He's been trying to fake this back injury for a couple of years now to try to get out of
it's been several
coming
years.
back. Yeah, yeah.
Several years.
He's been needing surgery for a long time. I don't know, people that I know that need surgery. They need surgery. Ken's just like, if I bowl good this week, then I won't have it. It's like, well, I think you're faking, Ken. So let's go. Let's get back. Let's
Pop
get
some
back.
Tylenol. Let's go bowl.
Going to Vegas next year. Let's do it again.
So we're going to work our way to the national part here very soon. Uh, if you could set up, this is going to be a tough one, just so you know.
Okay.
If you could set up a 5-person team, your dream 5-person team, and obviously folks that are watching and listening, don't get your feelings hurt here because there's only 5. Who would it be for you, Bill?
So that's including me. So I need 4 more people.
You got to be part of the team.
Okay, so it's me and 4 others. Well, I bowled successfully in team events with Tommy Jones and Norm Duke in the PBA league. So those guys would definitely be on it. Like I said earlier, I've always loved Patrick Allen, and so watch him. One of the smartest bowlers that I've ever been around, and one of the best. He was the best at just going about his business, and he would just. I enjoy bowling with him because he's just super knowledgeable, and so I need one more. Can't have another lefty because you can only have one. So I need a right-hander.
So that means Simonelli's out.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, because you just can't have two. You can't have 2 lefties. Too much of a gamble. Can't do it. Let me see. Who would? There's so many choices.
That's why this is hard.
It's hard. So because of the way I'm structuring the team, I got a lefty. I got Norm straighter. I'm kind of in the middle. Tommy hooks it. We'll go with one more guy who hooks it, and I'll go with my buddy Belmo. Make him the 5th, and that'll be our squad.
That would be a pretty good squad to lace them up together. So a little bit about BOWLIFI. You've had several different jerseys. You've got your tour line that's out there and available on the website. You got a favorite BOWLIFI jersey? Have you got some different ideas that you maybe want to put into your tour staff jerseys for this upcoming year?
Yeah, so the couple jerseys that I have, the same design as I had last year, but I really like the new jerseys are great. I love the feel of the new jerseys. They're like super comfortable. They're a little stretchier than last year's jerseys, and so that's
I have a couple on order myself.
Yeah, it's just great to be able to. It's a comfortability with what you wear on your body, of what your feel is of your bowling ball, what you wear on your feet. All that stuff is so important. When I just bowled the Players Championship, I bowled 50 games, and you got to be comfortable, or else you're just, you're risking throwing shots that you may not want to throw because of just your feet might hurt, or your jersey's a little tight in your arm and it's pulling, and that's no good. You can't have that. Yeah, you gotta be comfortable, and then also, like, it sounds silly, but like I want to look in the mirror and see myself in pictures and be like, I look nice, And
Absolutely.
the colors of the jerseys really pop, and the one I wore on TV last week is cool. And my daughter loves pink, so I had more like a like electric type of pink and gray jersey, and I have another one that has more of like I think one of like my favorite colors, like the Carolina blue.
Oh yeah,
like the North Carolina blue, and so I have a jersey that has a blue like that with gray in it. That's it's just they really, the contrast of colors really pops.
So about your daughter, is she a Taylor Swift fan?
She is. She's only 6, so she's not like in it.
There.
So but she likes she likes a bunch of her songs. We're not in the Dad get me concert tickets.
Well, my daughter's birthday.
Yet, so we're getting there, I think, soon.
My daughter's birthday's today. She's 8 years old.
Oh, happy birthday!
She is all about anything Taylor Swift now, just like all of a sudden. And she relates the NFL to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. That's all she knows about the NFL.
Right.
Everything's driven through the everything Taylor Swift driven. So I was just curious.
That's why all the people that get angry that they show her on the games all the time, like,
get over it.
They're pulling a different audience. Get over it.
Right.
One of the biggest stars in the world. It's just what it is.
Well, my 8-year-old little girl would care less about anything on a football game, but if Taylor Swift is on, she wants to pay attention and see if she sees her in the crowd. So I mean, that's a pretty brilliant move on their side.
Listen, honestly, you can say whatever you want about the NFL. They're not stupid. They know. They know how to get the eyeballs on the screen.
Yep,
they figured that out.
So there's actually a jersey we just ordered on the BOWLIFI website, and one of our good friends, Tasia, actually designed it. and it's all sequins. So it's literally nothing she does. Hopefully she's not watching right now, but it's all sequins, and it's going to be kind of a Taylor Swifty kind of looking jersey. So
No, it's neat.
she'll be
Yeah,
fired up when she sees that. So,
that's cool.
uh, but that's out there on the website, folks. There's tons on the website. Go out and take a look. Um, so we just want to get to the last part of this. We've been 25 minutes. I wanted to keep it right at 25, 30 minutes. I had the honor this year of presenting to four of my somebody said they're blocked by you on Twitter. I don't know. Lloyd Braun.
I don't know. Well, Lloyd Braun is a name from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
So that's probably not his real name. But I think I have like 3 people blocked on Twitter. So if I happen to block this person, they were probably a jerk to me. That's probably
why. Probably deserved it.
Yeah.
So I have 4 very good friends who are friends of my events and just personal friends of mine. Gone out to dinner, hanging out with, whatever, and they're just great people. Jeff Fair, R.J. Pollard, Charles Easton, and Ken Abner. The 4 of them teamed up with you this past season for the USBC team event, and you guys won by quite a margin. 100 plus pins, is that right?
I believe so. Yeah.
It was large.
Yeah.
And I had the honor of doing the presentation. The USBC contacted me and asked if I would be willing to do the presentation of the Eagles at one of my tournaments, one of the bigger tournaments I had at the end of the year. And I was pretty much flabbergasted. I mean, it's like to even think that that they would get a hold of me to do that. And it was Jeff, I believe, who probably set that up. Jeff and I talk often, and he's he's just, if you know Jeff or his father or any of the Fair family, they're top notch folks.
Yeah, they're great, and he's a true captain. So it wouldn't surprise me that he takes care of everything for us.
Takes the lead, yeah.
So he's
so that being said, you were not able to join us for the day of the presentation. It was Thanksgiving weekend. I think you were struggling getting your back healthy, having some Kenny Abner back issues. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you weren't able to make it. Sorry, I had to throw a jab in there.
Yeah.
You weren't able to make it, so I just wanted to. You have your Eagle handy there.
Right here. Yeah. It's heavy, so I don't want to drop it. I don't want to Pete Weber this thing.
So
it's right here.
Don't Pete Weber it.
Yeah.
So it would have actually been really cool. I still had one here, and I could have handed it through it to you, just so it looked like I was handing you one. But
that would have been funny. Yeah.
Thought about that a little too late. But congratulations on that. That's whether you're amateur, whether you're to team up and win that event is something special, and it's got to rate right up there with some of your bigger tour wins, in my opinion.
It was awesome. It was one of those things that like we were in the middle of it, and I wasn't as focused on the like winning the thing as much because I was bowling not very well. I was bowling terrible. The other guys were killing them, and so I'm like, all right, I got to hold up my end here. Like this is I knew what the score was, and I knew going in the last game we needed like 10-30 or something to take over the lead. But obviously we were focused on way more than that, and I finally pulled together last game and had a big last game, and it was a total team effort, and to watch Jeff and Charles just kill them the first 2 games was awesome, and then really like I'm thankful that I never wanted to like win the team event out there and also like me be the person that bowled like 850 or something, because I never wanted to like have that and the conversation be, oh, PBA players, they shouldn't be able to bowl. And we won that Eagle. Yeah, we won that Eagle. I bowled 690. I contributed. I wasn't the reason why we won. And I was 4th on the team.
Yeah.
And there's no questions. Those guys bowled great. And like the happiest I was, I think the entire time was how RJ finished. And he had struggled last year. He struggled last year, and then he struggled out of the gate, and then pulled himself together and bowled a really great last game. I think he bowled 248 or something with a stone 8 in the 11th, and so that was the coolest part for me to watch him like just be able to breathe after we got done and be like, oh, you know,
Right.
because
I'm
I know
sure
I've been in those spots many times, and
I wasn't
it's a good
alone,
feeling to
as
be able to get
well as
that.
most of Cincinnati who was following, and then anybody else who was following scores. You can watch the scores, through the app, and everybody with their paper and pencil, like what do they need to score here to take the lead, and how much are they going to take the lead by? I was one of those guys. So I mean, I'm always following when they're out there, and several other folks. When we get tons of folks that go out there, both from this area and friends from around the country. So I always like to follow up and watch scores. And when I was watching that, I almost got chills myself. So it was really cool. It almost felt like I was kind of there with you guys. And they're, like I said, they're all very special to me, and it's very cool that you were part of that with them. Uh, even more
Yeah,
cool,
it's great.
even more cool that I brought up before we went live is that jersey that you guys wore, the purple, black, and gray jersey for your team that was all over Facebook and all over the pictures that came through. Um, Kenny Abner, actually, that was his jersey. That it was one of the designs that I don't, I'm not really a designer. I just have ideas in my head, and I let the art team do their job, and they're very good at what they do. But Kenny's like, I want that purple one for our team jerseys out there. And I got a call from Steve and said, hey, where's this jersey at? Where do I find this at on your partner link? Whatever. And so that's how those jerseys ended up on your back for the Nationals for this year. So maybe I'll have
Yeah,
to
it's really
design
cool.
Kenny something new here in the next cut. You get him something new here in the next few weeks.
It sounds like Kenny might owe you royalties from this some
You know,
way.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Not me, or just Kenny.
I'm glad you brought that
It's Kenny's idea.
up. It was Kenny's idea.
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up because I would never be that person to ask Kenny. I'm not that guy.
yeah. I'll tell him to send you a check.
Okay, that's fine. He'll
Yeah,
he'll maybe buy me a bourbon or something one night.
yeah,
I would imagine, and I'd be perfectly happy with that.
yeah.
So
Sure.
anyway, folks, that kind of leads us into the USBC and your state, and all of these local tournaments are coming up, and BOWLIFI is the place to go. Get in touch with myself. Get in touch with Ryan. Get in touch with any of your local folks around BOWLIFI folks. Get on the website. Call customer service. It's time to order those jerseys and get them out there. And you want to look good, like Bill said earlier. You want to look good while you're out there. Hopefully performing at your best. And even if you're performing poorly, you still want to look good, right? So BOWLIFI.com, get on there and check it out. Bill, this has been very, very cool. I appreciate you taking your time on a Tuesday evening and spending a little bit of time with us and our BOWLIFI folks and our Hammer friends, of course.
Anytime. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. And hey, next year, same time, we've had back-to-back winners in the PBA Players Championship wearing a BOWLIFI jersey. So that's pretty cool too. So
Perfect. Well, hopefully we can do this again after another major win this year.
I'll be ready for you.
Yeah.
So, Bill, again, thanks for your time. Everybody, thanks for watching and your questions and whatever. Hopefully we got to some of them. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. And everybody have a great night.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. See you.